Hi, kiddo. How's your day? Oh, and what does like every weekday mean for you? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, but also I do feel that. Yeah, I think everyone have a time in their life sometime when they just wake up, do the things they need to do, and sleep and repeat, like being stuck in a loop somehow. Yeah, it's not a great view from there, I get that. Weekdays can be so small. Honestly, I feel like they teach you that in school. Well, maybe that was a jump, but in school, progression and numbers going up and things becoming more important is something that basically just happens over time. There is a sense in school that progression is the norm. Things are supposed to get better or more interesting, and everything's supposed to get more complex and you get bigger. Am I making some kind of sense? Yeah, they're sort of looked away from, and you learn to disregard them as unimportant things that you're just supposed to get through. And if you get through them, you'll eventually reach the big moments, and those are what matters. Well, yeah, the big moments obviously matter, but they're built on the small ones. I'm gonna go way out of my depths here. I read an article a while back about Billie Eilish, and she was called an overnight sensation. I mean, that is kind of weird. And they even mention in the article about things like her dedication to music and essentially how much and how long she had worked before she could become a quote unquote overnight sensation. Yeah, because great success and big things are built by lots of tiny small things put together. It's like these small insignificant pieces of plastic. I'm blanking on the name right now, but they're famously terrible to step on. Yes, right, Legos. Thank you. I mean, if you have a single piece of Lego that doesn't do anything and it doesn't look like much. Actually, could I answer this with a sentimental story of sorts? Thanks, kiddo. Quite a while back, you and me were sitting on the floor building Legos. What we were building? Well, I guess that's a question, isn't it? And I think if you had asked me right then, I I was just absent-mindedly stacking things. Well, I didn't actually care about building anything. I just wanted to hang out and talk to you. I mean, that is important, and it is still. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it looked different to you because you had this sparkle in your eye. It was clear that it mattered. And you looked at it and you added a few pieces and you looked at it again and you added something. But for me, it really was just a stack. You'd even start looking at my stuff with the same sense of interest and curiosity. And I don't know, I guess I just figured you were a kid and you're curious about things, but it never clicked that there was something there, you know? Well, after a while, you asked me, Dad, are you also building the mountains? Obviously, I rolled with it and said, apparently, and then we just built mountains together, and it was a whole thing. Well, for me, those piles were meaningless and just distractions. But for you at the time, they made sense and they mattered, and you saw them in such a different light because of it. Well, you had a blueprint. No, not an actual blueprint. It's not like we bought the mountains, Lego said, and I was building it without knowing. You just had, well, a vision, a blueprint in your head, because, how should I say this? It's a matter of perspective somehow. Well, the thing is, if you know what one of those little pieces is for, and it's the one you need, then the piece that someone else refused can become the cornerstone of your new build if you just know what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, that reference really does say a lot about this because I think the whole thing is about perspective and faith and trust and hope. In the big picture, these little pieces, they are what you make the big picture from. It is important, it really is. And the more you can enable yourself to see that, the more you can incorporate, the less meaningless and nonsensical they will feel. So, yeah, the question we land in really is, what are you building? What are you doing with your Lego pieces? Ooh, pulling out the Uno reverse card, are we? Nice one. Well, I guess my plan is kinda similar to the Lego story, actually. What I mean is, once you came into the picture, you just kinda asked me, Dad, are you building the parenthood? Obviously, I rolled with it and said, apparently. You build. Yeah, I know. Honestly, being funny is also part of my blueprint, I guess. You know I love that. Part of the good thing about every day is being a tiny Lego piece, it means that there is no reason to rush. This is going to be slow either way. And especially if you don't know where you're going yet, you don't have to hurry to get there. Yeah, so you can relax for a while. And honestly, maybe I should have gotten to that sooner because this has been sort of a rough day for you. And I'm sorry if I start dropping giant philosophical concepts in your head. That's not necessarily what you need right now, and this is really sort of a long-term thing anyway. Thanks, kiddo. I do appreciate that you can see the love in this. But sometimes, though, love needs to be backed by action. How about this as an expression of love? I'll bake some rolls. They'll be ready about the time this whole place smells amazing, and at that time I'll make some tea. Meanwhile, you just get busy relaxing after a dull and boring day. And maybe a finish like that could be a way to add some sense of meaning to a day like this. What do you say, kiddo? Then so be it. You see, even this part, we are building it together. Yeah, that's kind of how family works. I love you, kiddo. Always will.